Welcome to Season 8 of the Finding Peace podcast. This season is focused on practical, trauma-informed tools you can use in everyday life. When emotions run high, relationships feel heavy, or your nervous system needs support. Short episodes designed to help you find more peace, joy, and connection, one moment at a time. Please welcome the host of the Finding Peace podcast, best-selling author, psychotherapist, and speaker, Troy L. Love.
A few nights ago, I was lying in bed, staring at the ceiling. My body was tired, but my mind was wide awake. Have you experienced that yourself? When everything is quiet all around you, and yet everything in your head is loud. It started with a thought, just one, and then it grew into 2, and then 4, and continued to multiply, and feelings of sadness, anger, frustration, fear, grief, loneliness, all kinds of emotions bubbled to the surface, and all kinds of thoughts racing through my head. And who crawled into bed with me? Well, the shadows of shame. There's the judge snuggling up to me, which is kind of gross. And, that's gross to think about. The impotent one, the rebel, like they're all there. Can you all get out of my bed? This is really freaky right now. And within minutes, I felt like I was drowning. It wasn't one feeling. It was this overflowing emotion of shame and messages and emotion hitting me all at once. I was feeling smothered. And truthfully, I have been processing some really complicated stuff lately. I've been thinking about things, talking with friends and family about things, and I noticed that shame was showing up, and the way I was responding was not exactly the way I wanted to respond. I noticed that as friends were reaching out to me and asking me how I was doing, I was really passive aggressive. I was using snarky and sarcastic comments to deal with my pain. And I also knew that I was throwing all kinds of blame all around because I was trying to get rid of the pain and discomfort that I really was feeling. And as I started to notice that I was reverting to old behaviors like that, it frustrated me because I know exactly what I'm doing. Those have been my ways of wanting to push people away. And part of the reason why it's so frustrating is it's not aligned with my core truth. I know wholeheartedly that I am a man of light, that I have a lot of love to give, and me being snarky and sarcastic is not who I want to be. It's not who I am. And yet that's what I was doing. And I realized that the emotions that I've been feeling are really huge and sometimes overwhelming. And even though I have friends and family and people that I can reach out to, which is wonderful, and I'm so grateful for them, sometimes it still feels really big. And when that happens, I go into escape mode. I withdraw, I isolate, I push people away, try to do it all on my own. And if I'm honest, that is not a great solution, okay? In fact, I've told everybody else, you need a list of 12 people in your life that you can reach out to when you're struggling, because otherwise, that's not a great solution. Isolation is not going to help you feel better. It doesn't bring peace. It just makes the darkness feel heavier. And so there I am, lying in bed, flooded with all these things, feeling the pull to either shut down or continue to lean in and process it. And then there's that judge snuggling up to me, and I'm like, ooh, this is so gross. And he's saying, you got to deal with this right now. You got to suck it up. You got to face it. Stop avoiding. This is what you got to do. And if you don't, then you really are a weenie. And I almost listened. I almost agreed with what the judge was saying. I almost got out of bed. I almost grabbed my journal and started to write down things. I almost did all of that at 11:47 p.m. with no support and an exhausted nervous system. But then something in me paused. It wasn't avoidance. It wasn't escaping. just this little teeny light of awareness. And then I remembered something that I tell clients all the time. You don't have to process everything all at once. There's a concept that we call in our world containment. Containment doesn't mean that we ignore our feelings. It doesn't mean we suppress them. It doesn't mean we pretend that they're not there. Containment means I'm going to come back to this when I have support, when I have clarity, when I'm rested, when I have the capacity to make a choice. And I realized that that night, I did not have that capacity. My nervous system was already flooded. My body was tired. I was being snuggled up to with shame with, ooh, that's still gross. And I was alone in the dark, trying to solve emotional equations that don't get solved at midnight. So here's the truth. Not all moments are meant for processing. Some moments are meant for pacing. Because tending to attachment wounds isn't always about being courageous. It's also about timing. So I tried something different. This is a tool that I often teach clients how to do. I sat up in bed, closed my eyes, and I imagined a container. Not a steel gray, boring filing cabinet where things get shoved in and forgotten forever. I actually thought about a beautiful, ornate wooden box that has been carved with beautiful, intricate features, made out of wood, solid, grounded, sturdy. And I imagined that it was sitting on the bed in front of me. And I lifted the lid, and inside was a velvet lining. And one by one, I started placing my feelings inside. Not rushing it, not just like, here, and shoving it all in the box all at once. But more naming them. I'm sad. I'm sad because, and then putting that in the box. I'm grieving. I'm saying goodbye to, and then putting it in the box. I'm angry. I'm angry that, and putting that in the box. I'm afraid. I'm afraid that, and I put that in the box. And then I noticed as I was doing that, the shadows were quiet. They're almost like looking at me a little suspiciously. And then I said, I know that I've been using sarcasm and passive aggressiveness to deal with my pain. And so I'm going to put those behaviors in this box too. The part of me that is worried about being rejected, abandoned, betrayed, I'm going to put that part in this box so that it can be safe as well. As I did that, I said to myself, hey, I'm not abandoning you. I'm not shoving you into a corner and going to ignore you. I'm doing that because right now, this is a lot to carry, and I need some support, and it's in the middle of the night. And although there are people in my life who tell me that I can call them in the middle of the night if I needed to, it's not that kind of an emergency. This can wait. And so, hey buddy, I'm going to take care of you, but we're going to put this away. And so I put all those feelings and I shoved the shadows in there too. I wasn't gentle about that. I'm like, just get it in the box, okay? And then put the lid on. And then I imagined inviting my higher power to come and pick up the box and take it, which right now, with the spiritual journey I am on, is a little challenging, but I did. I said, hey, I need help. I can't carry all of this right now. I'm not asking you to take it away or remove it from me permanently, but I need this all to be kept safe. So can you please come get it? And so then I imagined that my higher power came and picked up the box and smiled at me with love and said, when you're ready, come and get it, and we'll process it. together, and I'll help you find people with whom you can process it too. And then I noticed things shifting. My chest softened. My breath slowed. My body started to come back online. And because I wasn't fighting those feelings anymore, and I wasn't drowning in them either, I was able to find some peace. And I was able to close my eyes and fall asleep. So, if you're listening right now, and there's something huge that you're facing, or emotions that are really big, I want you to do something similarly. You don't need to close your eyes if you're driving. Just let your attention soften a little bit, or pull over and do this. And if you're not driving, then just notice what's there. Just notice, like doing a body scan from the top of your head all the way down to your toes. Just notice the feelings that you're having, the sensations your body is giving off. Notice if there's any shadows of shame stories that are being told to you right now. Name the feelings, name the stories, and then imagine a container. It could be a box, a shelf, a drawer, a vault, a safe, something that feels accessible. And then I want you to imagine that you put all the things that are painful inside, gently, lovingly, kindly, putting them in. Not like you would do if the neighbors rang the door and the house is a mess and you're just shoving everything under the bed or something. Not like that. Just slowly putting it in. And as you do, either saying out loud or in your mind, hey, I'm going to come back to you when I have support and choice. And then close the lid, shut the door, drawer, whatever. And then imagine where you want to leave it. Do you want to hand it off to a higher power? Do you want to leave it in the room? Do you want to do something with that container? And then notice, after you've decided, how your body reacts. And here's what I want you to remember. Containment is not suppression. It's self-compassion. It's recognizing that our nervous system has limits and that our healing is worthy of support, that our pain doesn't have to be solved in a single moment to be honored. And maybe, most importantly, just because our pain leaks out in ways that feel uncomfortable or we don't like, it doesn't mean we're broken. It means that something inside of us is overwhelmed and we're trying to cope. And when you're ready and you have support, we can repair it. It doesn't have to be a big dramatic conversation. Sometimes it will sound like, hey, I noticed I was a little short with you earlier. That wasn't about you. I've got some stuff I'm working on. I'm sorry if I came across petty and sarcastic, because that's not who I am. I care about you and I didn't want to cause you pain. And so I own that was me and I apologize. Or even more simply, hey, I realize that probably came out all sideways. I'm sorry. I'm working on being more direct. Repair isn't about perfection. It's about returning to our values, returning to connection, returning to the truth of who we really actually are. And some of the most powerful healing doesn't happen when we push harder. It happens when we pace wiser and repair when needed. So, if something feels like it's too much today, you're not failing if you set it down and pick it up a little later when you have gained some strength or some support. You're practicing wisdom because healing respects timing. Remember, you are enough, you matter, and you are worthy of love and belonging.
You've been listening to the Finding Peace podcast. Special thanks to Intrex for providing the theme music for this season and helping set the tone for reflection, grounding, and hope. If this episode supported you, Please like, subscribe, and share the Finding Peace podcast. Your support helps these practical, trauma-informed tools reach more people who are seeking peace, clarity, and connection. To explore more resources, workshops, and upcoming events, visit findingpeaceconsulting.com. The Finding Peace podcast is hosted by best-selling author, psychotherapist, and speaker Troy L. Love. Until next time, remember, you are worthy of love and belonging.